Every photo tells a story. When I first met them, I had an assignment. The chief executive of AXA Insurance. We're trying to change his image. Tough former CFO. All the pictures you take in the executive suite, unsmiling, a bit like the prison shoots. I heard about Amit and Naroop. These guys bring life, bring energy, bring a freshness. I didn't check up on their work, I just brought them straight into the boardroom at AXA. Couldn't stop Naroop thinking, couldn't stop Amit speaking. You recognise the two. Ideas galore on one side and an energy. They created an environment where the chief executive felt comfortable. None of his team felt comfortable. They didn't know what these guys were doing. They put him at ease. He smiled. He was friendly. He was accessible. They totally changed his image. Soon after, every one of his executive team went through the same things with Amit and Naroop. I realised that they were two sides of a fabulous coin. That Amit, he can create an environment where no matter how angry you are, no matter how tense you are, no matter how nervous you are, he creates an environment where you are just calm and you're in his hands and he will do whatever he wants with you. Naroop, on the other hand, 1,000 ideas a second. You put the two things together, you get real magic. Over the intervening years, we've worked with professional boxers, David Hay. We brought them into their presence. We brought billionaires from Africa. We brought big chief executives from everybody who comes, they get the same treatment. And every photo tells a story. Then they had this crazy idea about turbans. I remember them, they couldn't stop talking about it, but were clueless about the publishing industry. That's never held them back. A lack of knowledge, a lack of network, a lack of insight never holds you back. It's always impossible until it's done. I introduced them to my literary agent, found them a publisher, and I saw this thing starting to take shape. And I remember in the very early days, they were just fabulous, fabulous photos. And there's something about every photo that they take, the eyes. The eyes have a life of their own. And if you take a look at their pictures, have a look at the eyes. They're always vibrant. Every photo tells a story. I remember Naroop sitting down with me and saying that whilst the photos are fantastic, do they really tell a story? I thought they told a story. He wrote the stories. And it's not a book. It's not a set of photos. It's a unique experience. Put together by two very, very, very special people, who I'm honoured and privileged to call my friends, Amit and Naroop. And it's so powerful. They are two sides of a wonderful coin. Please join your hands with me and let's celebrate that every photo tells the most unique story from Amit and Naroop.
Thank you very much. Thank you. What a privilege to be up here with you guys today. I need to let you into a little secret. So you guys think that you're here for a book launch, but it's actually our 15-year anniversary today. So we're doubling up, guys. You know, it's an amazing venue. Thank you so much to the Chelsea National Army Museum. The food is fantastic, sponsored by Punjab Arts, but it's been an incredible journey, you know, and I thought the best thing for me to do today would be to really share the story of how Amit and Naroop was born, because some of you know about us, some of you don't. But the thing is, we are like a married couple, but the real difference is we don't have any issues keeping it spicy, you know, so maybe we'll share some tips for some of you married folk out there. All right, so 15 years ago, where were we? 15 years ago, I'd spent a couple of months in university, and I realised it wasn't for me. I didn't want to be in the same boat as everyone else, so I left, and I was just finding myself. Naroop at the time was managing a young music artist, and he said to me, Amit, I've got a music artist, can you do some pictures, or can your dad do some pictures? And I said, my dad's busy, but I'll give it a go. So anyway, Naroop and I get together, and we're with this young music artist, Chirag. So Chirag's come to my house, and he's expecting a press photo shoot. I've got no idea how to operate the camera whatsoever. Naroop says, come on, Am, you'll be fine, let's do it. And one of the things that really interested me in it was, here's a man, Chirag, who's got a dream. He wants to be a music artist. And we thought to ourselves, that's bravery, and we love bravery, you know? So we thought, let's give him an hour of our time, see what we can do. So Naroop says to me, he says, Amit, where are we going to shoot these portraits? I said, Naroop, I've got just the spot. Are you ready for this? The canal behind Tesco's in Southall. I know, very sexy. Now, the backstory to that is I was actually at that canal a week before on a date with a young lady having ice cream. So you could call it my lucky spot, if you like. So anyway, us three have skipped along down to the canal, and we're there, and we're with Chirag, this young music artist, and his career is literally in our hands. The way we see it, these pictures are going to make or break him. So we thought, you know what, let's give it our all. So we're going ahead, we're getting in the zone, and we're creating the most amazing pictures. But what was really almost addictive to us is seeing Chirag's confidence grow. He was kind of a bit wary at first, but by the end of it, he was flying. The guy thought he was Robbie Williams, honestly, like, he was on fire. So we get back home, and Naroop downloads the pictures. The pictures come up on the screen, and my dad comes over and says, guys, these are incredible, these pictures. They're better than I could have done. And we're looking at each other, and we're like, hey, are you thinking what I'm thinking? So Naroop says, what do you think? I asked him the $1 million question. I said, is it really possible that you can get paid to do something you love and you're great at? And he said, you know what? If you're down, I'm down. I said, that's good. I said, what's our company going to be called? What can we call ourselves? So we toyed with some ideas, silly names. I'm not even going to share them now. And Naroop stopped me and said, Amit, I've got an idea. Amit and Naroop. We should be called Amit and Naroop. And I said, why? He said, we shouldn't be afraid to be who we are. People should know us as Amit and Naroop. That's what we do. We're the stars, Amit and Naroop. So I said, great. Make the business cards. We printed the business cards, and we were away. I said, Naroop, this is moving a bit fast for me. Slow down, Tiger. And I'm not a business expert, but they do have something called due diligence, I believe, right? So that's when you do a bit of research. So we do what many youngsters do. Not that. We do what many youngsters do, and we went on Google, and we typed in world's most famous photographers. A list comes up. Something really, really interesting struck us. No one was working together. Everyone was double our age, and they were a different shade to us. But did it stop us? No, sunshine. Didn't stop us one bit. So we thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. Let's build Amit and Naroop. And that day, Amit and Naroop was formed. Now, that was great, but when it came to the business plan, we had no idea. We were just two young guys, full of passion, hoping to change the world. And I remember one thing vividly, walking back from Tesco. I said to Naroop, I've got our marketing plan sorted. Don't you worry about it. He said, what's the plan? I said, listen, you've got to remember one thing. Everyone loves a 2-for-1, and everyone loves an Indian. We're going to be fine. So there we go. Amit and Naroop was born. I'm going to hand over to my partner in crime, my biggest supporter, Naroop. He's going to tell you the story of Turbans and Tales. Thank you so much for listening, guys.
Hello. Thanks for that, Amit. Thank you very much. Let me start by saying a massive thank you for everybody for turning up today. It's a real privilege and honor, 4 years in the making, to have this book finally here and be able to share it with you. It's fantastic. So, Amit has told you a little bit about how we met. What I want to tell you is how we created this book, Turbans and Tales. Allow me to take you back to 2013. Amit and I were banging our heads together, trying to think of an idea for a personal project that we could create to show what makes us different. We're two brown guys. There's not a lot of us about in the photography industry, and we wanted to show we're different. We had loads of ideas. I'll be honest, most of them were rubbish. One day, we were sat in the back of a cab, coming back from a shoot from Shoreditch. We were pretty knackered, just looking out the window, gazing mindlessly as you do. And we started to notice there's a lot of guys on the street with these really long beards. Now, I'm not talking about a little bit of stubble. It's not like they couldn't afford a razor or they didn't have a shave. These were chest-length beards, manicured, sculpted to the wearer's face. And it got us thinking. These guys are clearly wearing these beards have clearly got this identity because they want to stand out from the crowd. They want to be noticed. And I thought about our people, Sikh men. Their turban and beards, it allows them to stand out from the crowd. That's one of the reasons why they adopted this identity. So we thought, why not do a project where we show how modern British Sikh men wear their turbans and beards in this day and age. And it was like a light bulb moment. Finally, we thought we had a good idea. So what we did was we pulled out our phones, went on Google, and we typed in Sikh men portraits, hit enter. And all we saw were these kind of stock images, really cheesy images of like Sikh men stood in the Punjab on the farm with a plough, or like behind a till in the cash and carry, or in a cab. Nothing that really showed the real beauty and the magnificence of the turban and the beard, the majestic quality that it has. So we knew we had to do something different. We knew we had to do something in the studio, something that was stylized, and something that had Amit and Naroop all over it, our stamp, our signature look. So we started to contact some guys that we knew, with turbans and beards, some Sikh men, and we were really intrigued by the response that we got. They said, who's going to want to see a bunch of men with turbans and beards? Our ego took a dent. We took a step back. Have you thought of another rubbish idea? Like, come on, man. We've got to think of something good. But the fault was ours. We hadn't shown them our vision. They had no idea what we were trying to create. So we grabbed one of my dad's friends, who's actually sat here today, and we took him to our studio. We took his portrait of him, retouched it, and boom. Now we had something to show people. On our iPad, on our phone, we emailed it to people. Now when we asked people, do you want to be part of the project? Now the answer was yes. So we created 15 to 20 images. We had them on our website. And our job was done. We were happy. We were ready to walk away on to the next project. Now, we were really proud of what we created. We called it the Sing project, because every Sikh man has Sing in their name. But the Facebook page is getting a lot of attention. People were asking for more. What are you going to do with these images? Where can we see them? And we thought, more? Like, this took quite a lot of effort to do this. But they wanted more. So we photographed 34 men in total. 34 men. We did a Kickstarter campaign, raised £10,000, and we put on an exhibition in London. We were then invited by the South Bank Gallery to exhibit there, and City Hall and various other places, and we were really chuffed. We were really proud. We had press and magazines, websites, TV, radio. You know, we were really proud for what we could do for our community. But creatively, we were fatigued. We needed to step away from the project a little bit. It had taken up 2.5 years, and this was a labor of love. You know, we never got paid for any of this stuff. And we started getting emails and calls from people in Australia, Canada, across Europe. Can you do the similar thing in our country? And we had to politely decline. We couldn't do it. A year later, though, we went and talked to this organization called the Sikh Coalition, based in New York. Now, they are a non-profit organization that offers legal advice to Sikhs who are facing persecution post 9/11. And they said, guys, look, you really have to do the project out here. You've got to bring it out here. See, the landscape for Sikhs there is totally different. See, what the media had done, the media had showed images of men with turbans and beards and branded them as terrorists. Sikh men, they wear turbans and beards. Are they terrorists too? So now, it wasn't a yes and a no. It was just a yes. This had to be done. So the Sikh Coalition, they raised an eye-watering amount of money to allow us to go back and forth to America. And we photographed 37 new portraits of both men and women this time, and we called it the Sikh Project. And the images, we displayed them in September 2016 in Soho, Manhattan, in a 2-story gallery. 20 million Americans were exposed to that project, either through attendance at the exhibition or through the press generated. And we were really happy, really proud of what we created, and it's still been touring across America ever since that day. But this time we wanted more. We didn't want to quit. We wanted to keep on pushing because we knew the impact it was having. But ultimately, exhibitions alone can only take you so far because inevitably some people are going to miss them. It's only on for 1 to 2 weeks. So we thought, how can we allow this project to live on, to do more, to impact more people? And there's nothing quite like when you see a print in front of you. It's such a difference in seeing it on a screen, right? So we thought, why not put the UK images and the US images together in one book. 72 images, 72 unique stories. And in the beginning, we'll put a whole chapter about the history of the turban. And I encourage you guys to read the book and read that first chapter, because there's something for everybody to learn about the history of the turban. And Turbans and Tales was born. We were funded by the Ford Foundation in America. It was published by the wonderful people at Unbound, who came on this journey with us and helped us to create this book that we are so overwhelmed by. I remember when we got the first copy and we just looked at it, and it was real. There's nothing quite like when something goes from here to here and you can hold it and feel it and touch it. So that was an amazing experience. But ultimately, yes, the book is about the Sikh identity, but it's a book for everybody. See, what it does is that it embraces identity and it champions the brave. And I think that's a really important thing. See, anybody, no matter what their identity, should be able to pick up this book, read the stories, and realize there is nothing that can hold them back. No matter what they want to do, they can achieve it. If these guys have done it in this book, when you read their stories, then there's no excuse for the rest of us. And I guess you can say it's a book of self-confidence and it's a book about self-love. And I think we could all do with some more of that in our lives.